Christians are one of the most persecuted groups in the world today, facing discrimination, violence, and marginalization in many societies. This phenomenon is not limited to any specific region or culture, but rather is a global issue that affects Christians from diverse backgrounds and denominations. The reasons behind this persecution are complex and multifaceted, involving a combination of historical, cultural, and ideological factors. One of the primary reasons for Christian persecution is the lingering legacy of historical conflicts and misconceptions. In many parts of the world, Christianity is still associated with colonialism and imperialism, and Christians are viewed as representatives of Western powers. This perception is rooted in the historical expansion of European empires, which often use Christianity as a tool for cultural and economic domination. As a result, many people in formerly colonized countries continue to view Christians with suspicion and resentment, seeing them as agents of foreign influence and cultural imperialism. Another factor contributing to Christian persecution is the rise of secularism and postmodernism in Western societies. As traditional Christian values and morals are increasingly rejected in favor of more liberal and relativistic worldviews, Christians are often marginalized and excluded from public discourse. This is particularly evident in the realms of education, media, and politics, where Christians are frequently stereotyped as intolerant, bigoted, or reactionary. The resulting social and cultural pressure can lead to subtle forms of persecution, such as job discrimination, social exclusion, and ridicule. In many Muslim-majority countries, Christians face persecution due to the strict application of Sharia law and the dominance of Islamist ideologies. In these contexts, Christians are often viewed as second-class citizens, subject to discriminatory laws and practices that restrict their freedom of worship, education, and economic opportunities. The rise of extremist groups like ISIS and Boko Haram has further exacerbated this problem, as these organizations specifically target Christians and other minority groups for violence, forced conversion, and enslavement. The growth of communist and totalitarian regimes has also led to increased persecution of Christians. In countries like China, North Korea, and Cuba, Christians are often seen as a threat to state authority and are subjected to surveillance, arrest, and imprisonment. The Chinese government, in particular, has been notorious for its crackdown on Christian house churches and its attempts to co-opt state-sanctioned churches into the official propaganda machine. Moreover, the proliferation of social media and online platforms has created new avenues for Christian persecution. Cyberbullying, hate speech, and online harassment have become common tools for intimidating and silencing Christian voices, particularly those that advocate for traditional values and moral principles. The anonymity and distance provided by the internet can embolden perpetrators, making it easier for them to launch attacks on Christians without fear of accountability or consequences. Finally, the erosion of religious freedom and the decline of Christian influence in Western societies have created an environment in which persecution can thrive. As Christianity is increasingly pushed to the fringes of public life, Christians are left vulnerable to attacks and discrimination. The failure of governments and institutions to protect Christian rights and freedoms has emboldened perpetrators who feel that they can act with impunity. In conclusion, the persecution of Christians in society today is a complex and multifaceted issue, driven by a combination of historical, cultural, and ideological factors. The legacy of colonialism, the rise of secularism and postmodernism, the dominance of Islamist ideologies, the growth of communist and totalitarian regimes, and the proliferation of social media have all contributed to the marginalization and exclusion of Christians. As the global Christian community continues to face these challenges, it is essential that governments, institutions, and civil society organizations take concrete steps to protect Christian rights and freedoms, promoting a culture of tolerance, respect, and inclusivity that values the contributions and dignity of all individuals, regardless of their faith or background.